Fingers crossed. Long story short, this is day 2. Had to leave the bike here overnight. Issues with the tune and all. Switch it back to sport. But yeah, we had to drop it off yesterday. Okay, it's going a little better because I feel like back then I had problems like taking off. It would like stall right away. I feel like it's still idling funny, but apparently they adjusted the idle and all of that, so it shouldn't like die on me at lights, and it should run better. We'll see how it is. If this fails, honestly, because this is like the 5th time me trying to adjust this tune and all its problems, if it happens again, I'm probably just going to do the up map from Ducati, the T800. Nope. You guys saw that misfire? I think I'm just gonna, yeah, there you go. It's still idling funny and all. The same thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with the T800 map. I'll show you the clips right now. I did 2 pulls, both of them it was misfiring, 10 at 10,000 and 12,000. I just go and it goes up, and it feels like it hits the red line at 10 to 12. Both pulls I did. I'll show you the clips right now. But yeah. Same thing. Alright, this is day number, I lost count, but it's the week after. Let's see how she's gonna run. Racing Evo, didn't say that before. I know you get that with the Ducati up map. Looks like it's idling good so far. I don't want to jinx it. Still fluctuating, but like barely, which is not bad. The bike is already warm, so we're just gonna go take it for a little test ride. Still does this little idling thing, but at least it doesn't seem like it's idling so low that the bike feels like it's almost dying. Alright. that is. Everything is flashing, and I'm not sure what that means. The traction control, wheel control, and all these settings. Didn't do it. It's running good, but I'm not sure what's going on with my traction, wheel control, and all these settings. Let's give it a sec, see how it's gonna idle right now. Yeah, it's looking good, even though the bike is at 3 bars Z, which is usually when it starts idling a little more funny. Now the only thing is the whole traction, wheel control, and all that. Why is everything flashing, and what does that mean? Alright, I will update you guys as soon as I figure out what the issue with that is. But at least the bike runs good. Racing Evo's gone. So the issue is that my electronics were not functioning right. So my traction control, wheel control, all that stuff, the previous map messed with them. That's why I had like the signals that I mentioned in the last clip. Did more adjustments, and now it should be good. Seems fine. Bike is idling the best it has. We'll see if there's any like misfires or any of that stuff. But I didn't want to do a test ride and have to leave the bike again, because as you guys see, it's already late. So I'm just gonna ride it back, and if I have to, I'll come back again for I think like the 10th time. Well, yeah, hopefully this is it, it's done. All right, so let's do a little recap of what happened pretty much. I've been, as I said, like this is like I believe the 9th time going to the shop for the tune, and the 8th time doing adjustments for the tune. I don't even remember every single time something went wrong, but it's not the shop's fault. Let's just say that from the start. It is the tuner's fault, which is a third-party tuner. I don't want to mention them in the video because I don't want to blast them. I'm trying to be civil and nice, you know? So, but what happened is, from the first map, I'm assuming the first video you guys saw when I said we couldn't finish the tune, blah blah blah, it was, you know, the first map on this bike. I'm positive that that map was meant for a V4, not a V4R, which red line's different, you know, different engine, different everything. And I say that because if you guys see that video, the bike, like after the first adjustment, so not the first map that we did, the second time I went there to, you know, finish tuning it, the bike revved much higher after adjusting that first map, which led me to believe that, you know, the first map was set for a base V4 or V4S. After that, we put that map, the bike made a lot of power. I was very happy with it, as you guys saw in, I believe, the last video though. Actually, not the last video, one of the videos. This has been a long process, but one of the videos that went out when I said that this is the most powerful bike. It made a lot of power. Yeah, so like I was happy with the map, a lot of power, all of that stuff. There was 2 little issues which I didn't think much of. They were still like, you know, annoying and that need to be fixed. I didn't think much of them because I thought, you know, it's an easy fix. And those issues were the idling. Actually, in one of the meets when I first met Max Schrist, the bike died on me while I was in low RPMs, even though I was in gear. And sometimes, even when I'm stopped at a light, the bike would idle funny, as you guys probably saw in some of the clips. And then sometimes it would idle so low, like it would go between 1300 to 2000, and sometimes it would go down like so low that the bike would just like stop. So raise the idle a little bit and it should be a small issue. But then there was like the other issue where sometimes when I do these pulls at like between 10 to 12,000 RPMs, the bike stuttered. I was like, you know what, that's not like a big issue because it's only happened to me like 2 times out of like, I don't know, maybe 15 or 10. So I was like, yeah, obviously look into that, make sure that it's nothing like, you know, bad or dangerous. But mainly I wanted to fix the idling issue because it was frustrating how the bike was. It sounded like it's pretty much broken every time I'm at a stoplight or anything like that. And sometimes it would die, which is annoying. So we tried to fix that. After that, the tuner messed up. Somehow something went wrong and the bike wouldn't even start. At that point I got like really mad. So the bike started but it would die like right away. At that point I was like extremely mad and I kind of went off on him a little bit, but you know, again I was like trying to be, after I cooled down a little bit, I was trying to be civil because the problem is that the guy put that map on and he just like stopped responding. So I was stuck with my bike not even working because, you know, it wouldn't even stay on. You would turn it on and it would just die right after. So I had to leave my bike at the shop, and I'm the type of guy that doesn't like leaving my bikes anywhere. So yeah, I had to leave the bike at the shop, and I was promised that the day after the guy would work on it and get it fixed. I was like, okay, whatever. Got a ride back. Went back to the shop the morning after. The idling did get a little bit better, but then I took the bike on a little test ride, which is what you guys probably would have seen in those little clips. The bike was doing the whole misfiring thing like almost every pull I do. I haven't even tested if it's doing it right now because I'm kind of over it, you know what I mean? I just want to ride my bike and take it home. The issue is that it was like doing the whole stuttering or, you know, cutting power way more often, and I was like, well, now that's another issue, so it's not like really fixed, and the idling was still whack. Let's see if it's gonna do it. Seems fine. So we tried adjusting that, and same thing, we didn't have enough time, so I had to leave my bike over the weekend. And today is the day that it was supposed to be good, and that's when I filmed the first little test drive when I told you guys I saw the Racing Evo, which is usually what it's supposed to say when the bike is tuned. That's what it would say if you get the Ducati up map. But then, as you guys saw, the bike ran good, the idling was good, but then my electronics were, you know, off pretty much. That's why I had all these warning signs, and that got me worried, obviously, because, you know, we still gotta fix that. It's not done. On the last adjustment, like the 8th time adjusting this tune, so far everything looks good. I did that one pull and the bike, you know, didn't stutter or anything like that. I'm gonna try again in like a lower gear just to make sure. Seems fine. It took me about 9 visits, 8 times adjusting the tune, and about over like 20-25 hours of being at the shop to get this figured out, because as you guys saw tonight, I've been here since around like noon. Again, it is not the shop's fault, it is the tuner's fault, and I don't want to mention the name of the tuner because, you know, I don't want to give him a bad rep, even though I thought like there's a lot of instances and a lot of things that showed that he was very unprofessional from my experience. And I personally, like, to all my friends and everyone like that, I wouldn't recommend him. But, you know, like, obviously it is a V4R, and I understand that it's more complicated to tune than a regular V4 and S1000 because there isn't that many of them. So he probably didn't have as much experience tuning these bikes. But still, that's kind of like not an excuse to, you know, kind of like half-ass the job and not do it right from the start. Like, I understand if I had to do it like 3 times, 3 adjustments, you know, going back like about 3 times, that's understandable. But like 8 to 9 times, I think that's a little too much. And at that point, I started feeling that like, hey, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my energy having to go back and forth so many times. That's time that I could be filming or making content, you know, so it's technically costing me money too. And also, it's just, at that point, it seemed to me that like the dude was trying to figure it out as he goes, which is not like a very professional thing. Like, you're supposed to know what you're doing, you know what I mean? Not like every time you make an adjustment there's another problem. These are my thoughts about like all of this. I hope the bike doesn't act up more, I guess, and runs properly now. Yeah, it seems like it's running good. Just for other people that have bikes, honestly at this point, see, I always recommend a Dynatune, because depending on your location, you want the bike tuned to where you are based on the altitude, humidity levels, like a bunch of other factors, you know what I mean? So your bike should be tuned in the city that you live in, and the Dynatune gets that like 100% perfect tune. That's another reason why I was bothered, because A, I spent more money Dynatuning this bike for it to be 100%, and the bike wasn't even at like, you know, 70%. It wasn't working right. So what I recommend for people now, that unless you know you have a tuner that knows exactly what they're doing for your specific bike, honestly I would trust Ducati way more and just get the Ducati up map. You know, it just makes sense. It's much easier, it's cheaper than doing a Dynatune, and it's almost guaranteed. Your bike is not going to be, his bike is probably going to be at like 90%, but that's good enough so you don't have to go through all the stuff that I went through, you know? So yeah, and all these adjustments, by the way, there was no adjustments from what I informed to the map itself or the fueling. It was just adjustments to the timing and stuff like that. That's why I didn't have to put the bike back on the dyno again. First gear up to 12, and that was fine. Yeah, the bike is running smooth. I don't sound excited or happy because I feel like I went through so much to get it to, you know, just work fine. And I don't think this is like something that should be as complicated, you know what I mean? It's just a tune. It's not like I'm doing engine work and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for this video. Sorry that my energy is kind of low. I'm finally like, I am happy that the bike is back. I'm just bothered that, you know, it took literally weeks and multiple times and a lot of effort to get it done, and wasted a lot of time. But I am happy that the bike is running good and it's done. I'm also not as excited because, you know, I don't know if some other issue is gonna come up, but hopefully that this is it and the bike is gonna be running good, because as you guys know, this is like one of my dream bikes, and I wouldn't, you know, I want it to run right, like as simple as that. I hope everything is gonna stay good and that I can just, you know, actually enjoy the bike now. I have a lot of parts coming in, so we're probably still gonna be going back to the shop somewhat soon when I get some of the parts I'm waiting for besides the ones I already have. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, and if you feel bad for me, which you should, because I did go through a lot for this, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out and ride safe.